Welcome Galactic family, believe in yourself. In our current language system, the terms light and dark and positive and negative polarity are being used interchangeably. Darkness is the absence of light. Does not contain an aspect of polarity. It is the absence of light that amounts to lack of information, lack of awareness and lack of love. Darkness is nothingness that is enlightened by consciousness. The cosmos began with the fountain of God. Endless energy, knowledge and love. The source of God looked from itself and saw that the cosmos was full of the nothingness of the darkness. There was no love, no knowledge, no conscience. In an attempt to fill the vastness of the cosmos with unlimited knowledge, the light and love it contained began to divide. He sent the initial conscious fragments of God and said, "Go, do, create as you see fit, as you are imbued with my abilities. Bring light into infinite darkness." The original fragments of God had no prior experience with creation and began to experience. At the center of each fragment of God begins the creation of its unique galaxy. As a galaxy is formed with solar systems and planets, the creator fragment of God repeats the process of the source of God and divides to create life on the planets. Life begins slowly at the beginning, for there is no experience within the simple consciousness that was created. This is the fundamental rule. Create photonic awareness and allow it to generate density photons and vibrational frequency spin of photonic light through the experience of life. As these new conscious aspects learn and grow through experience, they begin to naturally form collectives, where their photonic knowledge is combined. When the density of a collective reaches the appropriate level of skill, it receives the task of supervising a planetary sphere, then a solar system, then a cluster. The ultimate goal is becoming dense enough to get out and start creating your own galactic construction. That is why it is called ascension. There is no hierarchy in this order, as is the expectation of this reality of the earth. There are only levels of experience and skill limits. The fragment of God or galactic consciousness creates the basis upon which life within your structure will respect. The first experiments were simple and without the polarity that we, as human beings, find ourselves immersed in the earth. The individual conscious life forms that existed in these earlier experiments found it easier to find the positive path and form collectives that benefited the whole. The ascent through densities for beings of formless energy was easier, but the result was that these collectives had no experience. During these previous experiments, a dilemma began to be noticed. Since these buildings were unipolar and without the veil of oblivion, sometimes entire systems stagnated, losing the motivation to strive for ascension. If an experience of the system cannot be repaired, it is finished with all individual consciousness returning to the galactic consciousness. This is highly undesirable since all experience gained by planetary entities is lost as photonic energy is realigned and reabsorbed by its creator. As subsequent galaxies develop, the fragments of God from these systems observed the limitations of previous experiments and incorporated new ideas to gain more experience of the individual consciousness of their planets. Relatively new galactic consciousness in which Earth is contained has decided to create new rules that incorporate polarity to create situations in which consciousness should choose and strive to achieve success in the chosen path. Duality has also been incorporated into life forms to teach the lesson of collective consciousness. The construction of negative polarity was created using reverse rotational clockwise rotation. Positive polarity contains what exists in the source of God: creation, love, free will, acceptance and the desire to help all to ascend. Negative polarity, by definition, is the opposite. Destruction, hatred, control, fear and desire to help only self. Negative polarity has a singular purpose. Absorb the positive polarity, causing positive polarity to strive to overcome it. There is no good or evil, there is the love of the source of God that we as aspects recognize, and there is lack of it in the negative polarity. Negative polarity cannot exist beyond a certain density, for existing beyond the galactic consciousness in which you were created must be connected to the source of God. The source of God does not contain polarity and has power of such magnitude that it would immediately neutralize any negative polarity that came into its domain. The polarity experiment created a problem. Created a lot of work and experiences got stuck in a different way. The polarity experiment was employed in various systems within this galactic construction when it was created. This has spread unexpectedly throughout the galaxy and is now seen as a disease that must be cleansed to preserve the eons of experience contained in the systems it infects. The dilemma is seen as a new and unique challenge that provides a beneficial experience for everyone because we correct the imbalance and learn from it. Negative polarity is instinctively attracted by positive polarity to perform its design function. However, it is easily neutralized by a softening positive polarity. It avoids, therefore, a polarity that knows that it can dominate. The definition of Earth displacement is that the experiment of polarity is being closed and the Earth is moving toward parity with the energy of the source of God. This will be accomplished by the source of God pulsing an overwhelming wave of positive energy throughout this galactic construction. This should be thought of as an energy balance equation because the required positive energy is proportional to the amount of negative energy that continues to be neutralized. The task, then, for the light worker is to establish as many beacons of light and positive polarity throughout the galaxy as possible. In this way, the negative polarity is slowly absorbed. When negativity is reduced to the threshold level, the event or pulse will occur and all positively ascending consciousnesses will use this wave of loving energy in a happy awakening while the negative polarities are realigned. Our experiences on this planet and this galaxy from that moment on will no longer have any negative polarities.